Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk said Polish armed forces shot down drones that encroached on its airspace on Wednesday in what it called a Russian act of aggression. At least 10 Russian drones were said to have entered Poland while carrying out an attack on western Ukraine. A NATO spokesperson said Secretary General Mark Rutte was consulting with Poland. And for more on this, I can bring in France 24's Brussels correspondent Dave Keating. Hello, Dave. How is this drone incident in Poland being viewed in Brussels by both NATO and the European Union?
Well, we got a statement from the EU's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, this morning saying they believe this was a deliberate incursion by Russia into Polish airspace. And that's an important distinction because this has happened in the past with both Russian and Ukrainian aerial weapons passing into Polish airspace. But all those times it was believed they were at least possibly an accident. This time they're sure it wasn't. And that's because of both the number of drones, 10 as you mentioned, and the sustained time period. This started, we're told, at 11:30 p.m. last night and went on until dawn this morning. Another first, this is the first time that NATO weapons have been used to shoot down Russian weapons since the start of the Ukraine war. So this could be a dangerous escalation, and that's why Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk has triggered Article 4 of NATO that is bringing all of the allies in for consultations. We're not exactly sure what form that will take, but that is likely chiefly intended to get the attention of the United States government to show them that the Russian attacks have really escalated since that Alaska summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, and Russia doesn't really have any serious intention of working towards peace. Now, this morning we had the annual State of the Union speech by Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. She spoke about this attack overnight, and she proposed the EU having a new eastern flank defense with a so-called drone wall to defend its eastern border with Russia. Details about that still unclear, whether that would be an EU-organized military unit that would be crossing a major taboo, or whether this would just be EU money for a national system. We're expected to get more details about that next month at the European Council Summit here in Brussels. But in short, this is something that both NATO and EU leaders are taking very seriously, and consultations about this are going to continue throughout today.
Now, Donald Tusk called this an act of aggression by Russia, though he was also quick to say Poland was not in a state of war. Now, you mentioned there Article 4, which Poland activated in order to have consultations with their NATO partners. It's not quite as well known as Article 5. Can you maybe outline each of them for us?
Yeah, Article 5, of course, is the famous one. That's when a member state is attacked, and then everyone has to rally to the defense and the mutual defense clause. Article 4 is when a NATO member's territorial sovereignty or its political integrity is being threatened. So that's what Donald Tusk has activated, and all it does is bring in the countries for consultation. So I think the Tusk is trying to not have the spiral out of control in terms of the expectations that this is starting a World War III or something like that. Article 4, it's triggered from time to time. It's not unheard of that it's triggered. And in particular, it's very apt here because it deals specifically with territorial incursions, which is the main objection here.